Dito sa Pilipinas, ang lakas ng dating ng mga big bikes. Kahit anong klaseng big bike pa yan, mapa-cruiser, sports bike, adventure, classic, and even scooter. Parang may magnet yung mga big bike sa mata ng mga nasa paligid na napapalingon talaga. Sa tunog at itsura pa lang mapapanganga ka talaga. At aminin man natin o hindi, nagiging status symbol din ito sa karamihan. And dahil dito, marami naglalabasan ng models from different brands that resemble the size and looks of a big bike at a cheaper price. Maraming options ngayon, from 200cc to 350cc, from adventure bikes to sports bikes, from cruisers to scramblers, and from street naked to scooters. Pero paano kung sasabihin ko sa inyo na merong smaller displacement bike that can have the same impact sa mga tao na kaya din i-magnet yung mga mata sa paligid? What we have here is a small displacement bike na may big bike looks at bibigyan ka ng sandamakmak na pogi point sa forma from a very trusted brand. I am Music, and this is the 2022 Yamaha XSR 155. Good day guys! Welcome back to my channel. So before we start this review, maraming salamat kay Quiz Win Cabagnot for allowing us to test his bike and giving us his insights for this review. In this video, we're going to review one of the most macho looking bike in the small displacement category, the Yamaha XSR 155. And as usual, we're going to run this bike through the different categories that we use to rate each bike with insights straight from the owner. And just a disclaimer lang ha, these ratings are based on my personal view and you may have a different one. So without further ado, let's get into it. Number 1 is the looks. Sa lahat ng small displacement bikes, ito na siguro ang masasabi ko na pinakagwapong bike para sa akin na stock. If you want a head-turner bike, ito na yun. Bikes are categorized based on their use like the adventure bikes for long rides, dirt bikes and scramblers for off-road, scooter for chill and everyday use, and itong bike na to, ang use nito ay papugiin yung may gamit. It has a very similar look sa mga previous versions ng mga big brothers niya na XSR 700 and XSR 900, especially from the engine frame pataas. Kaya naman, lagi ito na napapagkama ng big bike. If you are using this bike, believe me, maraming magtatanong sa'yo sa kalsada na,
ilang cc yan?
It has a very simple and minimalistic look and I really love how it is designed by Yamaha, especially this gray metallic color. The colors of each part of this bike complement each other, from the engine, to the frame, to the forks, to the tank, pati yung seats. Saktong-sakto sa lahat. And yung inverted forks niya talagang nakakadagdag sa looks ng bike. 155cc na inverted forks.
O, diba?
Another thing is that ito lang ata yung small displacement bike na magdadalawang isip ako na palitan yung stock exhaust. The design and size of the stock exhaust really complements the bike. And it looks perfect sa bike if you would ask me. It also has a hard plastic na skid plate which is good para hindi tinatamaan yung engine from below. Unang tingin pa lang sa bike ang ganda na niya lalo na pag inikutan mo pa. This bike has a height of 1080mm, length of 2007mm, width of 804mm, wheelbase of 1330mm, and a ground clearance of 170mm, which is great kasi hindi sa sides na naglalakihang humps dito sa Pilipinas. Weight of this bike is 134 kilograms, which is perfect for daily use or beginner riders kasi mag-add siya. This bike comes in two different colors, the gray metallic and the tech black. But to be honest, I'm not a big fan of plastic parts of fuel tank, especially if you consider the price of this bike, which we will discuss later. The plastics in the tank may have helped para mas gumaan yung bike and hindi maging mainit sa binte, pero since this bike has a small engine, weight and the engine heat may not be a big deal. Madaling lumubog yung plastic parts sa tank, which I think will be a big problem in the long run, lalo na kapag tumagal yung bike and lumutong na yung mga plastics. So the good thing here naman is kapag nabagsak yung bike and nagka-damage yung plastic parts ng tank, madaling palitan since hindi mismong tank yung matatamaan. I'm also not a fan of the quality of the signal lights kasi ito yung mga type na madaling mabali or lumuwag due to vibration. Plus, madali din mahugot yung taillight niya from the rear fender kaya need mo ingatang mabangga-bangga. And if I'm to own one, of course, hindi mawawala yung saddlebag for extra storage. Papalitan ko din yung side mirror ng rounded mirrors kasi for me, mas pogi siya. Engine guard for protection ng bike pag natumba. And radiator guard for the protection ng radiator sa mga tumatalsik na bato. So in terms of the look, I will give this bike 4.5 stars. Number 2 is comfortability. I consider this bike as a coffee shop bike or tambay bike more than a long ride bike. Though I'm pretty sure that there will be some XSR 155 owners out there that will say that they were able to use this bike on a long ride. And saludo ako sa inyo for having iron wepaks. But generally speaking, the seats of this bike will be a pain on long rides for the majority. This kind of seat has a very thin cushioning which makes it not suitable for long rides, especially sa mga OBR. Yes, it really looks good and perfect sa bike, pero ibang usapan yung comfortability niya. Pero that is something naman that can be easily fixed by reupholstering the seats and adding more cushion. Marami naman na sumusulpot na bike shops ngayon na nagre-reupholster, so easy fix lang to. In terms of the riding stance, it is pretty comfortable considering na standard bike siya, though not in the comfort level ng mga scrubber bikes. The handlebars are standard, pero I would say na if you prefer a straight stance pag nag-ride, you may want to check for a handlebar riser kasi medyo pa-forward pa din yung handlebars niya ng konti. You won't have a hard time using this bike for everyday use kasi comfortable siya i-ride within an hour or two maybe. And nakatulong pa yung lighter clutch niya due to the assistant slipper clutch, which is an improvement kasi as per Yamaha owners, medyo matigas talaga yung clutch ng mga Yamaha bikes. Plus magaan pa siya kaya hindi stressful gamitin kahit sa araw-araw na traffic ng Metro Manila. This bike is very agile na isingit-singit sa traffic, pero due to its size, medyo need mo lang maging careful. Seat height of this bike is 808mm, I'm 5'9", and ganito ang itsura pag akong nakasakay. So for the comfortability, I will give this bike 4.5 stars. Number 3 is engine and performance. This bike is powered by a 155cc, liquid-cooled, 4 valves, 4-stroke, single overhead cam, fuel-injected, single-cylinder engine that produces peak power of 19 horsepower at 10,000 RPM and 14.7 Nm of torque at 8,500 RPM. It uses a 6-speed gearbox kaya kahit na lower cc lang itong bike na to, di ka pa din mabibitin sa speed within the city. This bike is also equipped with an assist and slipper clutch kaya gear shifting will be smooth lalo na after the braking period. Documented top speed of this bike is 135 km per hour, but since this bike is not allowed sa mga expressways dito sa Pilipinas, I don't think that the top speed matters sa bike na to. This bike is using a Delta Box engine frame which is the same frame na ginagamit ng big brothers niya na XSR 700 at XSR 900, kaya talaga mukhang big bike itong bike na to. Although the fuel tank looks big, it only has 10 liters of fuel capacity but has a great fuel consumption of 49 kilometers per liter, which is really great for daily commute. Imagine na meron kang napaka-poging bike na mas fuel efficient pa than the other scooters.
Panalo, di ba?
Front tire has a size of 110 by 70 by 17, while the rear has a size of 140 by 70 by 17. Stock tires are tubeless IRC trail winner tires that offers good grip on different road conditions. It is equipped with a 282mm single disc brake at the front and a 220mm single disc brake at the rear. It also has a 31mm inverted forks at the front and a linked monoshock suspension at the rear. What is really good sa engine ng bike na ito is it is equipped with the Yamaha's VVA or variable valve actuation, kaya parang hindi 155cc yung ibibigay ng bike na to. As I've mentioned sa looks ng bike, I really love the looks of the stock exhaust ng bike. And if I own this bike, I would really have a hard time deciding kung papalitan ko yung pipe. And to give you guys an idea, here's the sound. So for the engine and performance, I will give this bike 5 stars. Number 4 is the tech. Even though this bike is a small displacement bike, it is not short of tech features. First, it uses LED sa lahat ng lights niya, from the classic and stylish DRL headlight to the turn signal lights up to the tail light. Second, it has a simple but cool LCD digital instrument panel that displays the tachometer, speedometer, fuel gauge, trip meter, odometer, light indicator, turn signals indicator, low oil indicator, check engine indicator, gear indicator, and time. Lastly, at ang pinaka-pinagmamalaki ng Yamaha, it has the VVA or the Variable Valve Actuation technology. Ito yung technology ng Yamaha na magbibigay ng extra boost sa bike once it reaches 6,500 to 7,000 RPM on stock or depende sa set sa ECU remapping. Kumbaga sa kotse, this bike has a VTEC engine. We'll explain yung VVA on a separate vlog na lang. And one thing na I hope Yamaha can improve is yung brightness ng instrument panel ng bike na to. Kasi even though may 3 brightness level siya, medyo madilim pa rin, lalo na sa tirik na araw. Another thing is that this bike doesn't have an ABS, which is one of the main gripes dito sa bike. From what I believe, meron sa ibang bansa na ABS variant itong bike na to. Pero yung dumating dito sa Pilipinas, non-ABS variant. Malay natin, dumating dito yung ABS variant. So, fingers crossed tayong lahat. So, in terms of the tech, I will give this bike 4.5 stars. Number 5 is reliability. Yamaha has been the industry leader for motorcycle reliability according sa studies. They are leading this category with the other Japanese brands trailing closely. I don't think there will be any questions on the reliability of this brand, though lately, nagkakaroon ng issues sa delta box frame ng ilang latest version standard bikes na nagka-crack kahit na hindi nababagsak or natatamaan yung bike. I know this may be an isolated case, pero I already knew few people na may ganitong issue, and for sure na meron pang ibang riders with the same issue. Unfortunately, hindi uso sa bansa natin ang pagre-recall ng units, especially sa bikes. Pero I think if maraming bikes yung may ganitong issue, Yamaha needs to look into this. Though yung issue na yun nakikita mostly on the bigger bikes like the 700s and the 900s, wala pa naman ako nababalitaan sa 155cc category. This bike is launched last 2019, pero dumating lang dito sa atin last 2020, nakasagsagan ng pandemic. Its name originated from 2 different perspectives. First, the name stands for Extreme Street Racing. Second, it is named XSR since it's paying homage sa XS series bikes ng Yamaha that is way back 1970s and adding that R for the retro look. Medyo bata pa yung XSR model to really say na it's really reliable, and with the issues na nabanggit ko kanina sa new models ng Yamaha, hindi ako pwedeng magbigay ng perfect rating kahit na number 1 sila sa reliability. So for the reliability, I would give this bike 4.5 stars. Number 6 is maintenance and accessories. Kahit na big bike ang peg ng bike na to, its maintenance is still as cheap as the smaller bikes since it has a 155cc engine. Oil capacity is just 1.05 liters, so dito pa lang nakatipid ka na ng 75% ng the bigger bikes na nagre-require ng 3 to 4 liters ng oil. This is very helpful sa pagiging tipid ng maintenance since this bike will require PMS every 5,000 kilometers after the first PMS. And since this is a Yamaha, it is given na hindi ka maubusan ng showrooms or shops na pwede mag-service ng bike na to. Though since medyo hindi kasing dami ng other Yamaha bikes yung number ng bikes na to sa kalsada, looking for a specialist ng bike na to will be a little harder than the other Yamaha bikes. I'm not saying that it will be hard pero mas limited lang than the other Yamaha bikes. Plus the fact na it has the latest VVA tech, you may need to really look for a very reliable specialist if you decide to have the service outside the casa. In terms of accessories naman, since medyo bata pa tong model na to and medyo smaller pa yung number ng owners, well, compared sa other Yamaha bikes, accessories are also not as widely available. Though marami naman nagsusulputang custom shops ngayon that caters sa standard bikes, so marami ka pa din options aside from the showrooms and dealers. Plus of course, andyan pa din ang Shopee and Lazada to the rescue. So for the maintenance and accessories, I would give this bike 4.5 stars. Number 7 is the price. I would say na this is the tricky one sa bike na ito. This category separates the riders na talagang interested sa bike na to versus sa mga tumitingin-tingin lang. And my rating here may be bashed by some Yamaha fanatics, but I'm just trying to be honest here. The Yamaha XSR 155 is currently priced at 175,000, which, if you will ask me, is too pricey considering that you can already get a 400cc bike around that price for expressway use. If you are into classic or the standard bikes, you can get a Motorstar Cafe 400 at 133,000 pesos. While if you are into street bikes, you can already get a Kawasaki Domitar 400 at 195,000 pesos. For me, na limited lang yung budget and trying to be practical, I would say na I'd rather go with the Motorstar Cafe 400. Pero for those of you na budget is not a constraint, trip yung mga technology features ng bike na to, and gusto ng maangas at pogi na bike coming from the reliable brand, this is for you. As of this moment, I don't see any competitors ng Yamaha XSR sa 150cc category. But the closest bike I can compare it with is the Kawasaki W175, which is priced at 130,000 pesos. The W175 is more of a classic bike na pang chill ride, while the XSR is the more agile and pangwalwal na bike. Both bikes are classic bikes but caters different riding needs. W175 is for the classic and vintage bike lovers, while the XSR is for the neo-retro looking lovers. I would say that there is still a number of riders out there that will spend that much for this bike. Well, bakit naman hindi? Sobrang pogi naman talaga ng bike. And of course, it's a Yamaha. Mapapagkamalan ka talagang si Coco Martin pag nakasakay ka dito, lalo na kung naka-helmet. So for the price, I will give this bike 4 stars. Number 8 is the owner's rating. So yun mga kuys, nandito ngayon si Win Cabagnot, ang featured owner natin ng Yamaha XSR 155. So kuys, based on experience mo, ano yung mas-share mo sa mga viewers natin na pros and cons ng bike?
Siguro unang-una, ang pinaka nagustuhan ko sa kanya, siyempre yung looks, yung itsura. Siyempre, tayong mga mahilig sa mga classic na bike, ang number 1 natin talaga nagustuhan sa mga ganang klase ng bike is yung looks niya, yung itsura, yung aesthetic, di ba? Marami ako na-experience na sa stoplight, may mga titigil dyan ng mga kotse. Minsan, nagbababa pa ng windshield, sigawan ako. Kuya, anong model yan? Ilang cc yan? Ang ganda, ganyan, pogi, ganyan. Sa mga parking lot, talagang maganda siyang conversation para starter. Kung paparking ako, may mga lalapit sa akin, Kuya, anong model to? Ang ganda ng bike mo, ilang cc, big bike ba yan? Ganyan, madalas na tinatanong sa akin. Tapos next, this is my first bike, so wala akong zero experience ako sa bike. Nag-scooter ako 20 years ago, 15 years ago. Ito talaga basically parang unang-una ko siyang bike. Masasabi ko sa kanya, napaka-beginner friendly. Nalala mo, di ba, ikaw kumuha nito, kinuha natin siya sa casa, di ako marunong, ikaw kinausap ko kumuha. That night, that evening, nung nawala yung ulan, sinubukan ko siya. Kasi meron naman akong background sa pagdadrive ng manual. Kasi yung manual yung kotse ko. And then konting experience sa motor. Nung gabi na yon, na ako mag-manual bike. So doon ako sa lugar, sa place namin paikot-ikot. That evening, marunong na ako mag-bike. Tapos a couple of weeks after, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, nakuha ko na yung ORCR. Mabas na ako ng EDSA, pero bahala na, ganyan. So, masaya. And yun nga, lastly, yung niya, it's a very, very fun bike na gamitin. Napaka-enjoyable niya. Siyempre, wala naman akong point of reference kasi first bike ko siya. Pero in terms of riding, sobra siyang sarap gamitin, beginner-friendly, and napaka-fuel efficient.
Yun. So in terms of the cons naman, ano yung mas-share natin?
Sa mga cons, siguro yun nga, wala akong point of reference kasi nga first bike ko siya. Nung nagtitingin ako ng mga bikes noon, ang number 1 na nakapagpaisip sa akin dito is yung price. For the price range, ine-expect natin na sana meron silang ibigay na, meron siyang sana kahit pa paanong additional features doon sa price range niya, di ba? Kahit like ABS, or side stand sensor, or kahit premium exhaust or premium parts kasi puro siya plastic. May marami siyang plastic actually. So, yun lang. Yun isa sa mga napagpaisip sa akin during deliberation na tumitin ako ng bike. Tapos, next pa, siguro nitpicking lang yun, nitpicking. Yung stance ko sa bike. Kasi yung stance ko sa bike, para siyang in-between siya ng aggressive and relax. Kasi kung umupo ka, yung foot pegs mo para medyo naka-atras, tapos yung handlebar mo is medyo malayo. So ang position ko ngayon madalas is parang medyo pasubsob. Pero semi-aggressive. Di ko alam kung ganun talaga yung design, by design siya na ganun siya. Or dapat ba ang stance mo sa kanya is kasi nga classic, dapat medyo upright. May mga napapanood ako, tinataasan nila yung handlebars para maging mas upright. Di ko alam if kung pro ba yun or con, pero medyo nitpicking yun for me. Kasi medyo, pang mahabang biyahe, medyo mapifeel mo yung awkwardness yung pwesto mo. Other than that, wala na. Kasi first bike ko siya, wala akong point of reference masyado.
Let's go to the owner's rating. 1 to 5, 5 being the highest. Paano mo i-rate yung bike?
First bike ko siya, wala akong pwede i-compare. Sobra ko siyang gusto, pero di naman tayo pwede magbigay ng 5, wala namang perfect. So, i-rate ko siya ng 4.5.
Alright, salamat guys. Thank you. So, just a recap of the ratings we have for this bike. For the looks, we gave 4.5 stars. For the comfortability, we gave 4.5 stars. For the engine and performance, we gave 5 stars. For the tech, we gave 4.5 stars. For the reliability, we gave 4.5 stars. For the maintenance and accessories, we gave 4.5 stars. For the price, we gave 4 stars. And for the owner's rating, we have 4.5 stars. So for the final verdict, we will give this bike 4.5 stars. I would say that this bike is perfect for newbie riders na may malaking budget for a small displacement bike at gusto ng sobrang poging bike from a very reliable brand. A primary bike for riders na may budget pero hindi pinapayagan ng partner nila mag-expressway, or as a second bike na pang daily, and of course, pang may budget pa din. Hindi pwedeng hindi i-mention yung budget sa bike nito dahil sa price point niya, majority of us may choose higher displacement na, including me. Though for the owners of this bike, I can also see them outgrowing this bike quickly and maghahanap ng higher cc bikes for expressway use. I think the only advantage of this bike is that it's a Yamaha and plus pogi points talaga yung mabibigay ng bike na ito sa rider. And before we end this vlog, shoutout muna tayo sa mga solid subscribers natin na si Mix Castro and PJ Aver. And of course, kung may natutunan kayo sa review na ito, appreciate guys if you can like, share, and subscribe to my channel para updated kayo sa latest uploads ko. Thank you guys for watching this video and see you again in our next vlog. This has been Music signing off. Always remember, stay safe, ride safe, and God bless.